Mr. Bento, upo na Valentine jamani?
Tutajua kesho.
Okay.
Lumen. Say anapanga matakuwa in 9 places.
You're listening to Blue Radio, bringing the vibe.
So right about now, and of course we had promised you earlier we'll be having a guest in the studio.
Yes.
Na ameweza kuwasili.
Yes.
So, would you like to do the intro or should I do it?
I'll just let him introduce himself.
All right. So, Mr. Welcome to the studios and just introduce yourself. Tell us what you do and what you are here today.
Thank you so much.
Right.
I love your English, you guys.
Thank you. Mine am I okay? Be careful. Be careful.
My name is Bernard Ochieng.
Right.
I work for Family Health Options Kenya as a programs manager youth in Mombasa.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You work for unaenda mbio sana.
Family Health Options Kenya.
Oh, Family Health
Options Kenya.
Options Kenya. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So what is Family Health Options all about?
It's a non-governmental organization that focuses on sexual reproductive health, targeting young people and the underserved, women, and we are also providing services to young people and also the community at large. But our focus more is on the vulnerable and the marginalized within the community.
All right.
Yes.
So you've said you provide sexual education to the marginalized people in the society.
Yeah.
So why did you choose to focus on those people in the society? Yet there are so many people dealing with so many sexually reproductive problems.
First of all, of course, youths.
Yeah.
Youths are, for a long time, they've been marginalized. Most of the programs they're designed by the adults, targeting young people, but young people are not involved. And most of the time, there are those hard to reach areas, those young people who cannot access, for example, access to internet, access to information. So we are targeting them. And also one of the key issues is that sexual debut and sexual activity mostly start at young, those at that age. So it's very important to target them and give them correct information to help them make informed decisions. That is why we focus that. When it is better to start at that age than when you start now talking to someone who's already an adult. It is even hard. You even know bending a tree when it is older, it is harder than when it's still young.
Unasema samaki mkunja ngali mbichi.
Kabisa. Thank you. Swahili mufti basi.
All right, moving on forward. Yes. So you said ya kwamba mmejibase kwa somebody vulnerable and mostly the youths, all right?
Yes.
So among the youths and mostly in this part of the region,
yes,
we do understand ya kwamba most youths, when it comes to sexual matters, they're mostly influenced by the religion.
Yes.
Have you encountered any barriers when communicating to these people?
Yes, the barriers are there, but we also look when you look at the religion, those we call them the preconditions, the surrounding. But when you look at the young people themselves, they're the young people who want access to information. We look at the statistics in 2018, which showed the most Googled thing on Google.
Yeah.
It was how to abort and what is sex. So you can guess who are using internet more. They are young people, and they have questions which they need to be answered. So in looking at the whole scenario, you realize that of course there are cultural barriers, there are even the religion barriers, but we also involve all of them because it's a sensitive matter, and we are more focused on age appropriate. You cannot give, there's an information you give to a certain age, and there's information you cannot give to a certain age. And when you look around the age appropriate information, that is when you also involve the religious leaders and the key stakeholders.
All right.
Yes.
So what are the factors that you people looked at before you decided to only focus on the sexual productive?
One, because it's a sensitive issue, and looking at the statistics, it is an area that people neglect, and even psychologically we are told most of our things we do they are based on sexuality, how we talk, how we dress.
Yeah.
So it's an area that people fear to explore, but it affects the higher percentage of our life. You'll even see among young people, 70% of young people on a daily basis, they think about sex issues, sex-related issues. So there's that talking, and there's that issue that is there, but people fear talking about it. And the cases of unintended pregnancies, young people getting infected, especially with HIV, which doubled among young people. So if we continue keeping quiet and don't talk about it, it's an issue that is eating the society, especially among young people. So that's why we decided to come in and bridge the gap, so that these issues are talked about and we are able to support these young people.
All right. Hug it out with the book captains, man like Kungai here.
Kate, Kami, and DJ Bobby to 5 Coasts.
All right. And of course,
Bernard Ochieng Bento.
Yes, Bento. All right, so Bento, we were talking about maneno ya sexual education and how we are going to empower our youth out here. And Mukame, should you go first or should I dive into the questions?
Ladies first.
All right, take it away.
Okay, so you've impacted me with the knowledge that I need to know about the sexual health reproductive system. Okay.
Health, huh?
Sexual reproductive health. Umekuja umenipea all that knowledge. So what are you doing to ensure that all this information that you've given me does not affect me mentally in a certain way?
I will start by saying that of course there are those misconceptions that if you talk about sexual issues, we are encouraging people to have sex or to get into sexual issues. But it's contrary, because the statistics shows when you empower someone, give information, the likelihood of them abstaining is higher than those who don't have that kind of information. So, and when we are empowering, we are giving you the information. We are looking at nowadays we are going beyond information. Because there's knowledge, there's behavior and attitude. So you might have knowledge that if I protect myself, for example, when I'm having sex, I'm not going to get HIV. But your behavior and attitude towards that might make you not to. Because some might say in terms of behavior, I say, yes, I know, but now, the feeling were up there. So the behavior part of it is what we're also trying to focus on, so that someone can, because information nowadays you can access even on the internet, but now we're also looking at how do we move from information to even behavior and even changing the attitude. And that's when it is it's a whole comprehensive topic that needs to look at them other aspects in terms of your life, because the life skills are also very important. So that's when you also bring in life skills, so that to help you be able to know how you cope with some of the challenges that will be coming on your way. So I would think that is how I can address that question, so that we are looking in terms of we should not look at it or how you're going to address it. We give information, and then on mental health, how you're going to cope with it. But us giving that information is already a way of promoting mental health to you. Because when you have information, you are able to help yourself and even maneuver through challenges that come your way.
All right. So I heard you talk about some misconception that are surrounding the whole sexual education thing. And kuna kwanga na a lot of information in the internet, right?
Yes.
Information mtu anaza access yenye ni nzuri na yenye ni mbaya.
Yes.
So how do we empower these youths that go to the internet and then they access the wrong information and then use it to lure other youths to pana, if you use a condom, this is what and what and what. They'll just lure others into doing the wrong things just because they got the wrong information.
Yes, so I think that is also a challenge, because nowadays with the internet, I can also develop an article and I just post there. So someone, when you go there, because also it's also based on algorithm, when you Google something, the one that comes first is, now you look at it, it fits you, you take it. But we are looking at also having the mentorship around, or the health services around. I know within the government health facility there are also youth-friendly centers which you can be able to visit and even get the verified information. There are even sites that are verified within the government that can be able to help you access the correct information. So information is there everywhere, but now the issue we are looking at is it correct? So the correct places, there are correct places, there are good places where you can access this information, and it's verified and it's scientifically correct. Yes.
All right.
You see, well, growing up, it was really, really like a taboo for an African parent to sit you down and talk to you matters regarding sex and everything. So I've been able to tackle some of the parents that I'm sure kuna wale wazazi wenye wako like, "Hey, hapana, utaniharibia mtoto." So how are you tackling such parents?
How are you handling that?
It's interesting because the one way we are able to deal with parents is there's a program called Family Matters program, and it's a program that aims to help parents to gain confidence and talk openly about sexual issues to their children, because the first teacher to a child is always the parent. And when you lose that confidence, for example, a very simple thing, when a child comes to your 5-year-old, he's asking you, where do children come from? And you as a parent, you tell them, we buy them. So when this child goes out and finds out that they are not bought, this child will never come back to you again for any information. So you have lost that that child. But the appropriate answer will be, for example, wanazaliwa, and then when he asks more information, say, okay, for now that is the information, but when you grow up I'll tell you more. So that gives that space for this child to know my parent is there, he can still be able to help me. And then of course in those days parents were not open about issue of sex. They will just tell you, don't walk with Kate, don't walk with, but they will not tell you why. So it becomes very hard, and most of us we learned issues of the sexual issue through our friends or even through other people, but it will be very good if the children learn it from the parents, because they are the ones who are the custodian of the child, and they are able to give information that is relevant to them. So there are those programs that we also work with parents to see how do we empower them so that they can easily communicate such kind of information to their children.
All right. And right about now, we are still having our guest, Mr. Bento himself in the studio.
Unauliza kwa nini wateseke roho?
Kesho tumesema maneno ni mawili. Piga simu kama unakuja.
Na kama ukuji, pia sema
nitafute backup.
But do not plan to surprise mtu. Utashtuka, and that is what
nilisema mnangoja moyo ya David alikuja.
Siku ni kesho.
Tutakuwa tunajua. Anyway, Mr. Bento, upo na Valentine jamani?
Tutajua kesho.
Okay.
Lumen. Saya anapanga metakuwa in 9 places. In 9 different places. Anatafuta tactic.
Anyway, fear women.
Fear men.
Okay.
It's men we're fearing.
No, it's women. Anyway, we go back to the topic of the day. So Bukame, we dive into the questions quickly pale. Kabla hatujasonga mbele.
So Mr. Ochieng, unajua we are so used to most of the people in this sector yenye uko ni female. So have you been able to establish that good relationship that even the females in your organization can comfortably come to you for anything?
First of all, I advocate for gender issues. In most of our programming, we must mainstream gender issues because it's very key, and it should not be an issue because it should just be part and parcel of the day. So of course I happen to work with more women.
Unajua it should not be an issue, but imagine me wangai. Unajua ile society kuna ile once umefika at a certain age, wewe kama msichana, there are things that you do not do to your father. Sisi kwenda kushika mkono na babako. Society imetu program that ukifika 15, babako pia is
no longer your dad.
So ukisema like it's so easy.
Of course at my for me it is easy, but of course for society that's why it's a process. Empowerment is a process. You cannot just take it out like that. That's why I say even the new generation, they'll be different. I believe even you guys, when you have families, you will not bring the same mentality that maybe you are raised with. So as things are changing slowly, because it's a process, it's not a one day. Even if you bring the same idea to someone who is very old, it's very hard for him to adapt, because you say, I've been used to this. So but for the new generation, it is easy, because they are adaptive, and the way the technology is going, how the world is going. If you're not adaptive, then it is very hard for you to move forward. So it is we have accepted, and we want everyone to be able to embrace. Even I am impressed here. This gender,
this gender
balanced. It's balanced.
Yes, it's balanced.
All
no,
right.
but I feel like you've not really answered my question.
Yes.
What have you done to ensure that you've built that good chemistry with these young girls that you're mentoring? Unajua kuna ile like hata kuna yule mwalimu shuleni, kuna yule mwalimu unapenda na utamwendea, na kuna yule mwalimu mwenye unaogopa, because huyu teacher unapenda, there is something that probably they are doing to attract you closer. So what are you doing to build that chemistry?
I think number one thing is being non-judgmental and being adaptive, because young people come with different things. For example, if you come there, they like music. So if you are not vibing, like now here, you're not vibing to their things, then you are likely not to fit in there, and they will feel they will not, you are not the right person to talk to. So unless you vibe and you feel like, of course, what you're going through, I understand, and you don't start criticizing. When you start criticizing, that is wrong, then they will see, we need to put a break here and now put our things in our own self. So that being adaptive and being non-judgmental, and being there, just offering that support. You don't become a lecturer, because you'll find even parents. That's why I even discourage parents. They might come to my office and say, I've talked to this child, he's not listening. And after I just tell them, you have lectured them, because 90% you have talked, their work was just to just say okay, but I've not heard their side. So that also becomes hard. So but if you have time for them to even share their issues, then it's not a very hard thing working with them.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So you say it's not a very hard thing to work with women.
Yes, women, young people, the youths, and even
same youths. You women.
Women, of course, it's also not hard. Because when you go there with your own expectation, that is what going to be very hard.
Expectation to make a zero.
When you put your expectation zero, then you are able to accommodate everyone. Because wewe unaenda hapo na expectation kwamba this is it, but ukiambiwa ama ukiwachwa unaona ni the end. But ukienda hapo, you have shared experience, and there you are even, how many, a very good question, mkianza kudate, how many people share the expectation? They don't share. They only share when things now gotten now tighter, you are now married, now you start sharing. But it could have saved a lot when you could have shared them from the beginning.
Yes.
But that is a no goes on for most people. So, and just building a culture of sharing, so that when you understand someone's value and someone's expectation, you are able to not to start saying it's difficult to deal with them. Yes.
All right. So I pose you this quick question, and then we'll be going for a short musical break. Yes. So what has been the response of the community through this education ambao mmekuwa mkipea the youths out there?
I will say majorly the response is positive, because if the community is able to see the impact, then it becomes positive. But of course, when you start, you have a lot of resistance, because these issues are not commonly talked about. So even the parents say, why are you talking about all those things? But if they're able to see changes in their young people, then they are able to embrace it. And even at a start, when you start it, you always have that resistance. But as time goes on, they see the changes, then they become even your friends. They come and say, I've seen my child is doing this now, at least. So there's always that resistance, especially some time back. But right now, I'm seeing with the crop of the new generational parents, so we are seeing things changing. But it is not. It is always that resistance from the community, and especially even from the religious leaders and the institutions. But we normally have some talk with them just to make them understand.
So before we go on a break, I have two questions before we. So 2 questions before we wrap up. So one question is, you deal with youth. So do you have like specific people, or anybody can just pop into your organization for guidance?
The youths, of course, as per the Kenyan constitution, the youth is up to 35 years. But for the World Health Organization, is up to 24 years. So for the program, of course, we work with young people between 10 to 24 years as young people. But for those who are between 10 to 18 years, we can reach them through schools, where we can have health talks within the health clubs, within the schools. But for the 18 to 24 years, they come at the center, and then we work with them we engage them in different programs that can be able to help them grow. So that is, but of course, when you're above 24 years, we consider you as a mentor to them, because you will find the dynamics in terms of an 18-year-old and a 27-year-old. They have different perspective. This one has only started life. He has not been heartbroken. For the 27 years, for example, he will even start saying men are trash or women are just an example. So you'll find those differences. This one maybe is just starting life, he wants to enjoy. The other one sees this one is immature. But how do we bridge that gap? By ensuring they offer that mentorship but not judging. So, but the program focuses on 10 to 24 years.
All right.
Yes.
So what is your end goal in all this organization?
We are looking at an empowered and an informed young person who is able to make an informed decision and is able to live a fulfilling life. Yes, because if we are focusing and making sure we give you the right tools, then you'll be able to achieve a lot. Yes, and I think one of the key things that was also brought me here is about International Condom Day. And we also advocate, because we know sexual debut right now has gone up to, even for boys is around 15 or 16, and for girls is lesser, even 12, 13. So that means they start sex very early. So we give them options. One, you have to abstain and protect yourself until the right time. Two, for those, for example, 18 and above, who are not able to abstain and they're not ready to get children, of course, their option of having safer sex in terms of access to condom. That's why we are also having this day to advocate for safer sex practices for those who can't abstain. Yes, but our advocacy is the best option is abstinence. Yes.
All right. So unajua umetaja World Condom Day and nimepatana na watu tawa kisipiana free leo. So today is the World Condom Day.
Yes.
So ni message gani tungependa kupea like the youth, sababu muda nataka kutupa kisogo hapa. Ni message gani tungependa kupea the youth, because wasengi wanakuanga na many misconceptions about the condoms and stuff, you know. And not just the youth, pia the community at large. Kuna wale nakwambia mimi siwezi tumia hiyo. Sijui I am allergic to that.
Unajua out there are some people who do not know the difference between contraceptives and family planning.
Yes.
Do you want to highlight the difference between the two?
I know the time is shorter, but I'll try to explain. Of course, even those terms we have tried to remove when we're working with young people, because when a young person hears about family planning, they know it's about family. They know about it's a family, but now we are using more of contraceptive because now it's preventing pregnancies. So in whichever, even abstinence is a way of contraception, because you're preventing the pregnancies. You're not engaging into sex. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That is one way we also have now the safer practices, the correct and consistent use of condom. And it's a wide thing that needs to be talked about, because in terms of unless you are using the other condoms that are they're not governmentally they're not government approved. That's why you hear itching or that. But if used correctly and consistently, I don't think there's any challenge you can have. It's only that the mentality that is there, that when I use this I don't feel like but you get it. But the key issue here is if you really want to practice safer sex, then there's an option there, so that you don't get into a situation that it is very hard. And remember, daily you'll find 114 people, 114 million people having sex daily worldwide.
114.
Yes, and out of those 1 million get unintended pregnancies. So you will see, like in Kenya you'll get like 847 yearly they are aborted safely. So what is causing all this abortion? And even the recent statistics that showed that 80% of young women before they reach 25 they either have a kid or they have ever aborted. So how do we prevent all these things so that we are able to inform them and make them make informed choices, even if they get into the sexual intercourse, they are able to know the consequences so that they are able to play it safely. If they're not ready to have children, then they are able to play it safely. And that is what we are advocating. We are saying safer sex to prevent HIV transmission, to prevent STIs, and even to prevent unintended pregnancies. Yes.
All right.
Unajua tunasema let's use condoms and everything, but kuna kitu moja like you should know. Hata kama you're using that condom, just know the condom is not 100% sure. You can still get the pregnancy nini. So just see it's true.
No, it's not true.
It's true.
If used correctly and consistently.
But nasema things happen while using it as a
okay, what things happen? Because when it bursts, it means you did not put it on the right way. You get there is a way you are supposed to put on that condom. We have also received cases of young people because say it burst because either you are in hurry. Let me share this. You'll find someone wants to do that act. He has closed the gate, he has closed the house, he's into a blanket, it's in the dark, so he doesn't know how even to put on all those things. So if it burst, that means you are not doing it. It is something that you are supposed to put on the right way. Yes, and in most cases there is that information on correct and consistent use of condom. Even you will find in relationship, you will find the issue of trust. People assume that when you're using condom you don't trust.
Yes.
So when I use today and then tomorrow I don't want to say, don't you trust me? Why are you using condom now? We have been together for this time. Don't you trust me? So the issue of they have associated condom
with trust issues,
not with preventing the pregnancy.
You know why I'm saying they're not 100% sure? Because there's this research they did, and they said that condoms are 99%. Ile 1% like walikuwa nasema mostly they were talking about sure. And it was more like it's not 100% sure that itakuprotect kabisa wewe. So like it's like
so we just stick to 99%, 99.9%. So the
1% for another day,
yeah. All right, so sababu time nataka kutupa kiswago hapa, and we already started the talks about condoms here and family planning. So Mukami, we dive quickly into the quick five. We've got 4 minutes to wrap this up, so we dive quickly into the quick five. So the quick five ni maswali 5 rahisi kabisa ambayo tutakuuliza tu maswali mboga kabisa, maswali ambayo hayana bugdi wala shindala. So Mukami atakuanzia pale na maswali yale.
You start.
I start. Alright. So mimi nikuulize swali rahisi, since wewe unahusiana sana na mambo ya community, when will be the next census in Kenya?
2029. It's done after 10 years.
Okay. Alright, 2029 it is. Uko hiyo pande uko sawa? Okay, no problem. Twende kwenye swali la pili.
Who is the current CS for health?
I know that name. Am I allowed to say pass so that I...
No, hakuna kupasa hapa.
Tukikosa pay bill pale fast.
Kenya is not allowed.
The current CS of health. Department ni yako.
I know, and it is her name. She's a lady. I know.
Yeah, she's a lady.
So I've just missed her name.
Quickly basi tuokoe anaitwa Nakumicha.
Yes, that name is Nakumicha.
It's Michaing a lot.
Michaing, yes.
All right. So question 3, you're stuck in a desert. Okay? Which 2 apps would you want to use? Only 2 apps. You're stuck in a desert. only 2 apps.
Google Map.
Okay. Google Map. Okay. One more to go.
And YouTube.
YouTube.
Yes.
YouTube for entertainment.
No, for tutorials.
On how to survive.
Yes, how to survive.
Very creative. Mkame, tusonga mbele.
Which is the tallest mountain in East Africa?
Mount Kilimanjaro.
Perfect.
I've finished.
No?
The 5th question.
The 5th question. Who is the Senate Speaker?
Wetangula.
No?
Wetangula?
Wetangula is national.
The Senate.
Yeah.
Former governor Kilifi. Nakupea mpaka Mkenya.
Kingi.
There you go, my brother. Lakini since tumekuhelp mbili, you've gotten 3 out of 2.
Proposal yetu lazima ende na.
Yeah, proposal. Anyway, guys, so that was Bento's time. Of course, I will let you give us your parting shot and where we can find your social media and where we can find the organization social media handles.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So we appreciate. Thank you so much. And as we celebrate today International Condom Day, we are advocating for young people to be able to access the condoms at the health facilities and even be able to seek the right information. For more information, you can get us at FHOK, MIC, that is on Twitter, and then also Family Health Options Kenya on our on social media platforms. You can be able to access us there. And then we're also based in Kazandani, KD. So that is where our offices is. That's where we have the youth program running. So feel free to come in and we talk about young people and how we can be able to support them.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, so Mukame, tupige patisho tena pale jamani, tukimpa Bento kwa heri.
Okay, our question tumeuliza, what are your plans for tomorrow? So usiseme una plans. What are your plans for tomorrow?
You asked me the question and I answered.
You said tusubiri kesho.
No, tumesema now you have to pay ka program. What are you?
Since tomorrow is not a holiday, I will go to work.
Kenya.
Luo man.
Don't Luo. Bwana, you want to let us see that?
What are your plans for tomorrow?
Bwana, tunaenda kazi. Tuko kazi. After kazi home.
After kazi, kama you don't have plans today, after kazi tomorrow at
Swahili Port,
there'll be a couple of events happening. There is gonna play that will be happening from 3 to 4 p.m. Charges the 200 per person, 300 per couple. Now after that, there's a free event also happening pale Swahili Port inaitwa #Total Shutdown. It's an event dealing with the femicide issue. So if you're interested, see you at Swahili Port.
So the femicide event will be happening at what time?
Swahili from 4 to 7. It's free. That one is free. And the play from 3 to 7, that's 200 per person, 300 per couple.
So 4 to 7.
Are you going as a person?
Are you asking her out?
No, I'm just asking. She asked me a very difficult question, so I'm asking her.
Okay.
Are you going as a couple or as a person?
She can't go as a couple.
Unajua tulikuja hii dunia pekee yetu. So see you there. Come on a plans.
Yeah.
And on Saturday, on Friday kutakuwa na another event inaitwa Coffee and Cuddles.
Coffee and Cuddles. Watu wafikie bei ya Coffee and Cuddles. Watu wafikie bei.
Yeah, tufikeni pale twende tukacuddle.
We'll be there.
For me basi msikilizaji wangu wewe tuende tukakadle na wewe hapa. Naona tayari sports na slots zishaanza kuchukuliwa pale polepole. Zimeanza kuchukuliwa pale polepole jamani. Kwa hivyo tukafungia hapo kwa leo. Jina langu limekuwa Wangai Peter.
And my name is Kate Mukami. Kate Mukami Anaska and Instagram Blue Radio Kenya. And in case umetune in sahi and you've missed this episode, kesho asubuhi Ian Kipto and Simon Boy will be there with the breakfast vibe from 6 to 10. Kama unaruka unaenda kazini, that is the show for you. DJ Bobby 25 Coast everywhere on social media. Na
kesho tumesema piga simu before ukuje. Anyway.
You're listening to Blue Radio, bringing the vibe.